What it do? Welcome to the J-Boy Sports Podcast. Please like, share, and subscribe if you enjoy the content. If you don't love the content, you could still do that because you could always help a brother out because a brother would help you out. Make sure that you comment because I will reply. Ball is life. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of our glorious content. And lastly, hang on towards the end so you can catch some of our suggested videos. With that said, jumping right into it today, this Bleacher Report top 10 list is disgusting. And you know what? This top 10 report is Kobe's execution. I did not miss the word. I did not misuse that word. I used it on purpose. It is Kobe's execution. The man died about 5 years ago at this point. But you know what? We got to kill him one more time. And that's what Bleacher Report tried to do. By extension of Clutch Sports. And if you didn't watch that video yet, check that one out. Because it's connected. The idea of execution, right? The definition of the word execution is essentially, it's known as the death penalty. Not the death penalty, but it's the act or process of executing, a carrying through of something to its finish. Put a plan into execution, a putting to death as a legal penalty. So, execution isn't just like you got shot. It's not like you just got stabbed. That's not the end of it like that. Execution is a plan to kill you. Execution is a plan to kill you. Now, like I said, Kobe Bryant has already passed, unfortunately. But what Bleacher Report is trying to do is execute him a second time. He's already dead. But they're trying to execute him now. Because the man is already gone. But the legacy is what they're trying to execute. They're trying to kill Kobe Bryant's legacy. They're trying to execute Kobe Bryant's legacy. That is their plan. Look at this top 10 list, man. MJ 1, LeBron 2, Kareem 3, Magic 4, Russell 5, Shaq 6, Duncan 7, Bird is 8, Wilt 9, Steph 10, Kobe 11, Hakeem 12, KD 13, Oscar is 14, West 15, KG 16, Jokic 17, Dirk 18, David Robinson 19, Dr. J 20. This list is atrocious. Atrocious. And I may do one also on why it's atrocious from the standpoint of Hakeem. Because I've recently decided to do a little bit more research on Hakeem Olajuwon because I'm so sick and tired of all of this crap. And actually I realized he may be a lot lower than he should be. Not just on this list, but overall. He's too low on a lot of people's list. So let's start with this. Let's ask some questions. Let's ask some questions on why this list is stupid, besides the fact that Kobe Bryant is 11. That's my main focus. But also Hakeem Olajuwon is too low as well. Now, some people that like Kobe Bryant, their instant thing is like, oh, it's Steph. It's Steph. No, it's not Steph. I'm not here to bash Stephen Curry. Steph Curry deserves his flowers. He deserves his flowers. The person behind this is Clutch Sports and LeBron James and Bleacher Report. If you get people to focus on Steph versus Kobe, they're not focused on Kobe and LeBron. It should be Kobe and LeBron. If anything, LeBron should be 11 and Kobe should be 2. Let me explain. And I'm going to go right down the list. And I don't mean to take shots at all the greats, but I'm sorry, guys. I got to keep it real. Besides LeBron, I actually have respect for all of these guys. And some love. At least a little bit of love for all of them. Besides LeBron. But all of them have some explaining to do if you're going to put them over Kobe Bryant. Let's start with LeBron. He's 4-6 in the finals. 4-6 in the finals. That means he has 6 losses. His 4 rings are only because he trades teams. Runs around on super teams. All right? He collects teammates like Power Stones, looks around to see what he can do, holds teams hostage. I'm a Laker fan. Right now, he's trying to play games with us. He's upset because we got Luka Doncic, and he's not the focal point. He drafted his son, Bronny, who really, I feel bad for Bronny, but he's still a Nepo baby. And you know why nepotism bothers me? I want to throw this out there. When you lose your job and you're looking for a job, and if you're not a part of any associations or anything like that, right now Microsoft laid off like 16,000 people since January. We're only in July. and it's still going to keep going. They saw record profit, but they still let go of 16,000 people. The people that they're rehiring are probably Nepo babies. If you can't find a job and you've been looking for a long time, you know who's getting your job? Nepo babies. When you get to that last interview and they still decide to pick somebody else and they don't tell you why, Nepo babies. But because LeBron James is black, and because supposedly his life has been so hard, even though it hasn't been hard since he was like 15, he's been a millionaire, at least behind the scenes. He tries to tell you, especially for my black listeners, that nepotism is okay, that it's all right because he did it, like he's not rich enough. Nepotism is not all right. It's never all right. And when it happens to you, when you're struggling to feed your family and you can't get a job, I bet you nepotism won't be funny then. So just keep that in mind. That's one other thing, is the nepotism that he brought to the Los Angeles Lakers and the whole league. When have you ever seen that before? Never. I asked you another question about LeBron James. I dare somebody in the comment section to answer me and tell me, what has this bum done for the league? How has it become better? What has he left for the game? What is he leaving for players? Player empowerment? That sucks. If you're a fan and you like player empowerment, you don't know what the heck you're doing. Players sitting out, crying and complaining about making millions of dollars is not good for fans. Switching teams is not good for fans. It's good for them, selfishly. Players getting fans kicked out of games. Players not caring about fans. Not wanting to play 82 games. That's not good for fans. You never had to ask Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant, hey, can you play today, please? You never had to ask Kobe Bryant or Michael Jordan, hey, can you be a leader, please? You never had to ask Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant, hey, can you be accountable, please? Can you not complain about making millions of dollars, please? But these guys today, that's what LeBron left behind. How about his last three playoffs? Went home in the first round each time. 1-8 versus Joker, but he's a winner, right? He's a great player, right? 1-8 versus Joker. Just got smoked out by the Timberwolves. Now, he had AD on his team, as well as other players. This year, he had Luka Doncic on his team, and Austin Reeves was also averaging over 20 points per game. Now, Reeves didn't make the All-Star game, but you got 3 players on one team averaging over 20. If I think back, Kobe Bryant beat the Spurs when he was averaging dang near 30, and Pau Gasol was averaging 13. You got 2 people on your team that can average 20, besides you, and you got smoked out 4-1. His fourth quarters were horrible. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but if you want to know, check out Skip Bayless's rant on LeBron James and what he said about his fourth quarters. You can hate on Skip Bayless all you want. You can call him a lunatic. I think he is a little bit loony when it comes to LeBron, to be honest. But the facts are the facts. He was horrible in the fourth quarter. And he's been horrible in the fourth quarter of the last 3 games, 3 playoff series. How about going 1 for 29 on game winners or something like that as a Laker? He hit another one and now he's like 2 for 30. It was because he had a putback layup. An easy one where he just went right down the lane. I forgot what team they were playing. How about LeBron James being 1-3 versus Steph Curry in the finals? How about him being 1-2 versus Tim Duncan in the finals? And this guy is number 2 all time. He has the most turnovers ever. He has the most misses ever. He has the most playoff losses ever. He's 4-6 in the finals. He's 22 for 33 in finals games. He's like a minus 86 in the finals overall. And he's number 2. This man single-handedly has made losing okay. If you look at this list, only 2 people on this list are losers. What do I mean by losers? Am I saying that they're the worst players ever? No. But when compared to the other greats, LeBron James is 4-6, Wilt Chamberlain is 2-4 in the finals. They're the only 2 players in this list that have losing finals records. And Wilt is number 9. Why is LeBron number 2? Explain that to me. How is the gap that big for these two losers? Again, when I say losers, I'm saying this from the standpoint of compared to the other guys. Are they losers overall? Are they losers compared to all the other players that ever played? No, they're not. But when it comes to the greatest players, they are. That is a fact. So how is LeBron 2? I had a lot of energy on that one. Let's move over to Kareem. Now, Kareem, you could argue that Kareem is 2 or 1. I'm fine with that, to be 100% honest with you. Kareem is one of the gods of the game. He is. He's got 6 finals MVPs. Not MVPs. He's got 6 MVPs regular season. All right? I can... That's crazy. All right? He's got 5. He's got 6 rings. He's got 6 rings. He's got 6 regular season MVPs, I believe. I mean, he was the number 1 scorer of all time, even though we didn't call him the greatest because of it, nor should we have. He dang near won everything in high school. He won everything in college. They changed not letting people dunk because he was too dominant. He has one of the best moves of all time. He's a great rebounder. He was a good defender. He was a good shot blocker. I mean, you can't say a lot of bad things. He played for a long time. You got to give him his credit. I can't hate on Kareem. However, I will ask one question. If you're saying that Kobe's not on his level, because Kobe's at 11, Kareem's at 3 on this list. How many rings did Kareem Abdul-Jabbar win without Oscar Robertson or Magic Johnson? Because everybody blames Kobe Bryant for playing with Shaq. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar never won without a top-notch point guard. And in some lists, people put Oscar Robertson in the top 10. He's 14 on this one. He never won without a top guy. And he has 5 rings with Magic Johnson. 5 with Magic. 5. Interesting. But Kobe's a bum. Because he played with Shaq. He's a sidekick. Kareem's not a sidekick? I don't understand. Magic. Let's go to Magic. Magic is one of the gods of the game. Best passer I've ever seen. Him and Stockton. I'm going to give it to Magic because he was just fancier. Magic is the only player I've seen win championships off passing. That's godly. The same way Steph is so dominant in shooting-wise, and Steph's the only guy I've ever seen be this dominant from just shooting threes and shooting, period. Magic is that, but passing. Can't say a lot of bad things about Magic. I got it. But he's 5, and also Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's record is 6-4, by the way. Kobe's 5-2 in the finals. Magic is 5-4 in the finals. He has 1 more win than losses. 1. Just one. Never won a championship without Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. He didn't win Finals MVP every time. In fact, James Worthy won Finals MVP once while playing with Kareem and Magic. Going back to Kareem, he also played with James Worthy. He played with Byron Scott. He played with Jamal Wilkes. Larry Nance, I think, was on their team at one point. Byron Scott. Did I say Byron Scott? They had a squad. Michael Cooper, one of the best defenders of all time. They had a squad. They were rolling 5-6 deep for years. How come Magic's not a sidekick ever? But Kobe's a sidekick. How come Kareem and Magic never three-peated? With all that talent on their team. How many times did they go to the finals 3 straight times in a row? How many? I don't even know that. Maybe they did it. But did they do that? I'm sure they went to the finals 3 straight times in a row. At least once. Kobe did it twice. Only lost to a super team. The Lakers at that time, the Showtime Lakers, were the super team. Them and the Celtics. Kobe never had such luxuries. When did Kobe have all that talent around him? He had Shaq, but that was it. Not saying that the other guys were bums, because they weren't. They were top-notch role players. My guys. Fish, Fox, Ori. My guys. Shaw. But at the same time, they weren't what Magic had. Nowhere close. Just because James Worthy was there, they weren't what Magic had. Just because of that. And I can go further, but just start there. And I'm pretty sure. Is James Worthy one of the 50 greatest players of all time? Let me see. Is James Worthy one of the 50 greatest players of all time? Yes. Are you kidding me? Are you freaking kidding me? So Magic and Kareem get to play with James Worthy, who's also one of the 50 greatest players of all time. 3 of the 50 greatest players of all time on one freaking team. And Kobe's the sidekick. And none of them are. Bleacher Report, owned by Clutch to some extent. Bleacher Report, certified by Clutch somehow, some way. I guarantee it. I guarantee. Guarantee. Charles Barkley. Get the heck out of here. Russell. Don't want to disrespect Mr. Russell, RIP, but at the end of the day, when he played, there was like 8 teams. 8. You want to know something else? For some of his championships, at least 6 Hall of Famers were on his team at the same time. 6. Similar to Kareem and Magic, when did Kobe Bryant have such a luxury? 6. There was a lot of times where Russell, in fact, maybe all the time, he was never the leading scorer on his team, I don't think. Maybe 1 or 2 years, maybe. Somebody Google it, let me know. Let me see. Let me Google it. Was Bill Russell the leading scorer on his team for all of his championships? No, Bill Russell was not the leading scorer on his team for all of his championship wins. He was the most dominant defensive and rebounding force for the Boston Celtics. He was not known for his scoring. Or he wasn't primarily known for his scoring. Sam Jones, Tom Hensoff, and John Havlicek often led the team in scoring. Russell's contributions were more focused on defense, rebounding, and leadership, which were crucial to the Celtics' success. But he was never a sidekick. Now, he does have like 5 MVPs or something like that. I do know that. But he was never a sidekick. But they're all better than Kobe Bryant, right? They can all do what Kobe did. Shaq. Love Shaq. That's my guy. Shaq played with Penny Hardaway and got smoked by Olajuwon in the finals. Smoked out. Played the Bulls the next year. Smoked out. Played against Karl Malone and the Jazz. Smoked out. Had Eddie Jones and Nick Van Exel, who are all-stars, and I think the same year Kobe was an all-star. Got swept by the Jazz, I think. Kobe was on the team, but he wasn't a starter. Wasn't allowed to start. Kobe was also an all-star that year, but he wasn't allowed to start. Shaq's been swept, I think, more than any other superstar. Or he's tied somewhere around there in the playoffs. I love Shaq. Shaq's my guy. He's in my top 10. Actually, around this spot where they have him now. However, Kobe's 11 on this list. Shaq won primarily not just because of his dominance, because of Kobe's dominance. Kobe also won because of Shaq's dominance. But Kobe showed that he could lead a dynasty by himself. He lost to a super team Celtics, almost did 3 in a row. Was beating 50-win teams like it was nothing. He's played more 50-win teams than Magic Johnson has. He's beaten more 50-win teams than Magic's even played. Ever. Shaq, as dominant as he was, had a big weakness. He could not lead your team down the stretch in the fourth. He couldn't make free throws. Somebody had to close. Shaq also needed to be in the paint. The only person that could be with him had to be an explosive scorer and specifically a big-time shot maker on the perimeter because Shaq was in the paint. Kobe was able to navigate around all of that and still kill people. But Shaq is on top of him here. Kobe went to 3 straight finals without Shaq, lost to a super team, won one of the hardest championships I've ever seen against 4 Hall of Famers, Paul Pierce, KG, Ray Allen, and I do believe Rondo will be one at some point. And if not, even LeBron James, some of these people's king, said, I don't know why we don't talk about Rondo. He was nice. He was just as good as the rest of them as far as us having a problem with him. Kobe beat all that with Pau Gasol, who's not a top 75 player, who realistically, being respectful of Pau, I do think he was a very good player, but he wasn't great. And without Kobe Bryant, he wasn't making no first teams or any all-pro teams without Kobe. He didn't win a playoff game until he joined Kobe. He was 0-8 in playoff games till Kobe came along. And then instantly to the finals. Went from winning nothing to gentlemen sweeping the Spurs. You kidding me? But we're going to sit here and we're going to say that Shaq is over Kobe. He's not. Kobe showed what he could do without Shaq. Shaq went to the finals with Dwayne Wade, and yes, they won. But Shaq averaged like 13 points a game, and he wasn't hurt. Nothing happened to him. Kobe averaged 15 against the Pacers, their first win. Shaq was a monster. Don't get it twisted. But at the end of the day, Kobe was hurt purposely, and I haven't gotten a chance to do a video on that. Every time I'm about to, something stupid like this comes up. So we got to know our history here, okay? All right. And then Shaq went to the finals that one time with Wade. They did nothing after that. Shaq jumped from team to team, tried to steal rings at that point, and he couldn't. And he ended up going out in a way that I didn't want to see for Shaq. He just disappeared. Now we still see him, and I love Shaq. I love Shaq. I really love him. But I'm just keeping it real. We cannot bash Kobe because he played with Shaq. Kobe led the team in the conference finals when we were playing tough teams. The Blazers, the Spurs, the Kings. Kobe led them. He led the team in scoring a lot of those times. He led the team in efficiency. Shaq killed the finals, but who was he playing against? The strategy was for him to kill. If you're playing against Todd McCullough and Dikembe Mutombo, who is one of the best defenders of all time, but he was older, and Shaq weighs 320 pounds, Dikembe was like 200. What do you think was going to happen? Matt Geiger. Rick Smits was old. Even though he used to be good, he was old at that point. He retired after Shaq murdered him in that series. Dale Davis and them. Good defenders, but Shaq's just too big. We played the Nets in the finals. Kenyon Martin, good player, doesn't have enough beef in his back pocket. If you look at Kenyon Martin right now, he's in really good shape for his age. I don't know exactly how old he is, but he's in good shape. But good shape ain't gonna get it done against Shaq. You need some beef. Pause. No diddy. He murdered those finals. Kobe still played well. Kobe averaged 28 points per game in some of those finals. He averaged more than LeBron averaged on his MVP finals tours on the Heat. But does Kobe get respect? Does Kobe get love? No. No. They just want to say it's only because of Shaq. Even Shaq said Kobe sacrificed for us to win. He could have very easily been MVP of at least a few of those. But they're going to keep tearing Kobe down. Tim Duncan. Love Tim Duncan. Used to hate him. Love him now. Have a lot of respect for him. He was that guy, man. Shaq could not beat Tim Duncan without Kobe. And David Robinson was right there with him at times. But Shaq couldn't do that without Kobe. Kobe killed the Spurs. Kobe is 4-2 versus the Spurs in the playoffs with Tim Duncan on that team. Manu Ginobili, David Robinson, Kawhi Leonard, add all of them. Kobe's 4-2 versus them in the playoffs. He was over Duncan. Mind you, let's go back to LeBron. He's 1-2 versus Tim Duncan in the finals. And he only got one because Ray Allen and Chris Bosh saved his bacon. He should have been donezo. Should have been 0-3 versus Tim Duncan. Tim Duncan swept him once and then beat him down by a record margin. The next year after they stole one with Ray Allen and Chris Bosh. And this is the king. This is the guy that's number 2. So Tim Duncan had a losing record versus Kobe Bryant. I'll throw some other things. What's the other separator between Kobe and Tim Duncan? Tim Duncan went to the Olympics before Kobe did. Before Kobe's Redeem team, before Kobe went to the Olympics and was 36-0 and brought the gold medal back to the United States of America, Tim Duncan went first. Got his butt kicked. The first time we ever lost with pros in the Olympics. He then said, I'm never going to do that again, because apparently he didn't like the rules and he didn't feel like it favored him or whatever. Now, I'm not calling Tim Duncan a crybaby, but he definitely quit. He didn't even say, I want to go back. I'll give LeBron and Wade and Melo and them some credit. At least they said, you know what, we're going to go back. We're going to try it again. Now, they had Daddy Kobe to keep everybody based and prepare him for the hard war, but they at least went back. Tim Duncan said, I'm done after he lost. He picked up his ball and he went home. Kobe went and won all the games, went 36-0. Coach K recruited Kobe Bryant. So in 2004, I think that was, and that's the time when they're trying to say that Tim Duncan is better than Kobe Bryant, right? That's what they're trying to say. Coach K recruited Kobe Bryant and said he's the best player in the world in 2008 and the alpha. And they also were willing to get rid of LeBron James. I did a video on that. They were willing to get rid of LeBron James because they had Kobe and they felt like they had more than enough to win as long as they had Kobe, the best player in the world. But LeBron's daddy, Nike, swooped in because they caught wind of it and said, hey, LeBron, because LeBron was being a brat, a petulant child, like he still is today, with the antics, the holding teams hostage, the crybabying complaints, all that. He was still doing it back then. He's still doing it now. But it was really out of control back then. Treating staff bad. They said all that stuff. Nike said, LeBron, get your act together. They want to kick you off the team. And they managed to pull some strings. Maybe they gave him a timeout and he came back and he played. So, again, we're comparing these people to Kobe and we're not telling the full story. Here's the last thing I'm just going to say. Well, actually, two more things. One, Kobe Bryant has way more points than Tim Duncan has. He's a way better offensive player than Tim Duncan. Tim Duncan was clutch. Don't get me twisted on that. He was clutch. Kobe Bryant is a much better offensive player than Tim Duncan. Now, defensively, that's debatable. They're both elite defenders. Tim Duncan is elite on defense. There is no denying that. They are two of the best ever, not just at their position, but in the league. That's where Tim Duncan hangs his hat also. Nobody talks about. Tim Duncan also never won less than 50 games, I don't think, any year he played. The Spurs have sucked since he's not been there. And it makes me question Greg Popovich, but that's for another video. So Tim Duncan is that dude. Don't get it twisted. But he's not Kobe. Kobe was a far superior offensive player. Far superior. And on top of that, Kobe went to the finals 3 straight times, twice, on Tim Duncan's watch. Tim Duncan never repeated as a champion. Not once. Never. He has 5 rings and he only lost 1. But he never repeated as a champion. Not even once. What is harder to do? Be a repeat champion or win every 2-3 years, which is what Tim Duncan essentially did. Repeating is harder. Kobe had a 3-peat with Shaq. He almost had another 3-peat. Ariza and Bynum got hurt, plus they were playing a super team. Didn't finish the job. But let's talk about that too. Nobody talks about that. Tim Duncan, as great as he was, watched Kobe Bryant go to the finals in his conference 3 straight times, twice, and couldn't do nothing about it. Kobe never had to sit back and watch such a thing. Not no 3 straight times. Kobe would have... Before Kobe died, he would have killed himself. He would have offed himself if he had to watch somebody go 3 straight times on his watch. Not happening. Too competitive for that. So that's Duncan. Bird played on a super team his entire career. We don't talk about that. People that hate Michael Jordan literally try to say, oh, well, he never beat Bird. That's true. But Michael Jordan was playing with cokeheads, apparently, allegedly. And Larry Bird was playing with some of the best players of all time. He never played on a team where he didn't have like 2 other all-stars, dang near top 50 people with him. Never. Now, he won 3 straight MVPs. I'll give him that. But I'm going to say this real quick for the MVPs, but I'm going to do another video on this. Never forget that regular season MVPs and even finals MVPs are voted on by human beings. Human beings that can like you or dislike you, that want to write the narrative and think that they as journalists are more important than you as the player. Now, I do think journalists have their place in society. I think they are important because I think players go a little bit too crazy on certain things. But when it comes to MVPs, I'm not taking their word for anything. I've watched them literally create narratives and take things away from people and give things to other people just because they freaking feel like it. There's no criteria, so they literally make it up every single year. And they're all in cahoots, in my opinion. Even some that I like Rick Bucher. On Rick Bucher's watch, Kobe has 1 MVP. Shaq has 1 MVP. Duncan only has 2. Nash has 2. Steve freaking Nash. There's something wrong there. If you're going to tell me it's a fair system and it's correct, that's a lie. Joker has 3. He only has 1 championship. Joel Embiid has as many as Kobe Bryant. Let that sink in. So Bird always played on a super team. Allowed Magic Johnson to win 5 on his watch. Kareem to win 5 on his watch. Also, he's 3-2 in the finals. That means, like Magic, he has 1 more win than he has losses. 1 more win than he has losses. And again, we're comparing these people to Kobe. And Kobe's the sidekick. Kobe's the non-winner. He's the problem here. None of the people I just named, other than Duncan, have as many defensive accolades as Kobe Bryant. Not even close. Bird, get the heck out of here. No. Oh, excuse me, Russell also. I don't know if they had... Russell was known as a defender, so I'll give him that too. Other than Duncan and Russell, none of these other guys are anywhere near Kobe Bryant on defense. I'm going from 2 down. All right, 2 down. If you want to say 1, yes, Mike did too. But 2 down? Get the freak out of here. Just Duncan and Russell. That's it. Magic, not a defender. Kareem didn't have as many. Shaq, and that's another thing I want to say about Shaq. As much as I love Shaq, the reason we didn't four-peat is because he was lazy on defense. We should have beat the Spurs. Tony Parker beat the absolute crap out of us, and it's because they ran the pick and roll and Shaq didn't step up. And Tony Parker killed us. That's why we lost. If Shaq dedicated himself to defense, like an Akeem Olajuwon, we would have won 5 in a row. Count your blessings that Shaq didn't take the defensive side as seriously as he could have, Laker haters. But that's how good Shaq should have been on we could have won 5 in a row, literally. Tony Parker, man, underrated, killed us. But all these other people, nowhere near Kobe Bryant on defense, other than Russell and Duncan. That's it. Nowhere near him. Bird wasn't that on defense. So how did he get over Kobe Bryant? Wilt, he's 2-4 in the finals. Didn't win until he went over to the Lakers to play with what? Jerry West? And who else? Jerry West is somebody else? Jerry West is one of the best players of all time. He's 15 on this list. Wilt was out there playing singular ball, doing whatever he wanted. From what I heard, now I wasn't alive during this time, obviously. It's like 90 years ago. I'm joking. That was disrespectful. It was a long time ago. Wilt, apparently, all those numbers he put up, he couldn't do it in the playoffs. And not just against Russell. Apparently, he was not the same player in the playoffs. That's why he was losing so much. They said Wilt in big games folded. Dang near every time. So a guy that folds in the big moments and is 2-4 in the finals is over Kobe Bryant, who's known for exceeding and excelling expectations in the biggest moments. And he's 5-2 in the finals. Will is 2-4. And he's over Kobe. Sick behavior, man. Sick behavior. Steph, number 10. I'm not even really going to go in on Steph, man. At the end of the day, I'm going to keep it very simple. Steph played with KD on a super team in order to beat LeBron James and them. And that's really it. Kobe Bryant has more 50-point games than Steph and KD combined. He has more 40-point games than I think both of them combined as well. And KD's 13 on this list. Steph's 10. What are we talking about here? Now, honestly, Kobe's doing that to a lot of people scoring-wise, but I thought that was one that I read that I was just like, what are we talking about? How are they over him? They're both scorers for the most part. Steph ain't making no defensive teams. KD ain't making no defensive teams. So what are we talking about? Just offense, right? Kobe Bryant's the best scorer that I've ever seen. I did a video on it. Please check it out. These two aren't touching him, and they're scorers. That's what they're known for. They don't got more rings than him. KD can't even win without Steph. KD can't get right. He can't make the playoffs with Devin Booker and Bradley Beal. But he's near Kobe? A spot away? He's near Hakeem? Like I said, I can make an argument for Hakeem also being kicked out for no reason whatsoever. And maybe I will make a video on that. But this is Kobe's execution. We're talking about all the bullets. Every single one of these people on top of Kobe is a bullet. If his legacy had an aura or a soul or whatever, and it was like it could manifest itself, these are bullets, ghost bullets, being put into Kobe's legacy's head, executing him. So this video is already long. It's 37 minutes. This is my longest video in a long time. I've been trying to shorten it, but it is what it is. I had to explain to you guys, this is an execution of a legacy. This is a plan to execute Kobe. All the lies you have to tell to get past him for these other players, as great as they are, they're not Kobe Bryant. When people tell me Kobe's not top 3 or whatever the case may be, at least, I ask who's better than him and why, and they can never tell you. They just parrot what they hear on ESPN and these stupid shows, Colin Cowherd on FS1, Jason Whitlock, who I don't dislike Jason Whitlock overall, but his takes on Kobe are garbage because he doesn't like Kobe. These are people that are voting in the media for why Kobe only has one MVP. They don't like him. So why would they give him MVP? And if that's your criteria for how great Kobe Bryant was, which some people will use, that is one of the biggest excuses that they can use. He didn't have MVPs. Well, why didn't he have MVPs? Because the people that vote on it don't like him. You can listen to them talk and know that they don't like him. That's like asking me to vote on MVP for LeBron James. I'm not going to pick him. As much, if I can avoid it, I'm not going to pick him. In 2020, when the Lakers won a championship in that bubble chip, I would have voted Anthony Davis. In a heartbeat. What makes you think these people didn't do that to Kobe? In regular season and in finals. Dwayne Wade just came out and said, Powell should have won MVP of the 2010 finals against the Celtics. Powell was averaging 10 less points than Kobe Bryant. Kobe scored 21 straight points in a quarter to keep us alive in that series. What are we talking about, man? These are the people that get to pick and choose the legacy of a great player like Kobe. And we just let them do it. Not anymore. Not on my watch. This is a war. And it starts with that number 2, balding jabroni, LeBron James. It's him. Him and Clutch are responsible for this list. They're the ones pushing out this propaganda. The stronger Kobe gets, as far as his legacy, because he's gone, but the stronger his legacy gets, the more people do their research, the more people wake up and say, you know what? He ain't better than Kobe Bryant. The more drastic their measures need to become, because LeBron's on his way out. They're losing ground. I don't know if you realize that. People are turning on them. This is their last-ditch effort before LeBron kicks the bucket out of the NBA to try and maintain some face. So they partner with Bleacher Report. And I'll just read this again for those of you that don't know. I have a video on this, and I talked about it in 2 other videos. But I need you to understand this. This list is made because while there's no indication, this is what it says on Google. While there's no indication that Rich Paul directly owns or has a financial stake in Bleacher Report, the extent and focus of their coverage of Rich Paul and Clutch Sports suggests a close relationship and a vested interest by Bleacher Report in reporting on Paul's activities and influence. A vested interest. A vested interest in the business world means they're in bed together. Pause. Actually, when it comes to LeBron James, he was at the Diddy parties. So Diddy on that. They're in bed together. Somehow, some way. And if you're still a child and you're thinking and you believe that LeBron James and Rich Paul move separately, grow up. They don't. They don't. Every time something happens, Rich Paul is there to the rescue to provide father figure morality for all of us and how we should treat LeBron and how we should act. So if you think that they're not in cahoots, grow up. And if you think Clutch Sports and Bleacher Report are not in cahoots with where Kobe is on this list, you're on clown time. You're a clown. I hope that all my followers on here are not clowns. If you've been listening for a while, there's no way you could be naive to this stuff. So at the end of the day, like I said, this is Clutch Sports. Clutch Sports via, however you say that, Bleacher Report, they're trying to execute the legacy of Kobe Bryant. This is Kobe Bryant's execution, this list right here. So with that said, we're at war, guys. Are you going to step up? Are you going to be a coward? Or are you going to be a man? When the LeBron goblins come for you, because they will, if you try to support something that's outside of what they want, and they will come for you, are you going to stand up? Or are you going to let Kobe Bryant's legacy die? I refuse. Is this the most important thing in my life? No, it's not. But it's what's right. And like I said, the man's not even here to defend himself. Somebody's got to do what's right. I do what's right as much as I can in every other aspect of my life. And in this case, on this channel, I'm going to do what's right as much as I can with the time that I have to do it, because I have other responsibilities, obviously. With that said, thank you very much for listening this long. Fight back against these LeBron goblins and Clutch Sports. Fight back. Let's comment. Comment. What do you think about this list? Did I say something that was off? Do you agree with me? Am I right about how far they put Kobe Bryant? And none of these people on top of him are flawless, by the way. And neither is Kobe. But he's less flawed than these guys. Sorry, not sorry. Let's talk about it in the comment section. I will reply. Ball is life. Make sure you hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of our glorious content. Hang on towards the end because we have some other suggested things that we know you'll love. I appreciate you very much. I'm very thankful. I'm very humble. Much love. That somehow you never get over leaving me, and when you feel like coming